Alright, so yesterday I managed to finish putting both of the ends on the greenhouse. This is the first end that I did, and it turned out pretty decent. So what I did to build this one was I took 2 segments of 1/2-inch PVC pipe right here. I attached them together. I took it to my porch. I laid the plastic over it, and then started building this. Or I didn't lay the plastic over. I laid it on my porch with the same arch right here. So I made sure that the arch was the same length, and then I built this frame into it. It's very ad hoc. I just laid pieces out and tried to get the doors in the same spots, and then I just screwed it all together. I attached the PVC pipe to the wooden frame with these screws in various locations wherever the wood touched the corners of the structure. So it's down there, or down there somewhere if you can see it. And then what I did was I brought it to here, I matched it up, and then I screwed this whole structure to the large PVC hoop that is making my ends. And this one turned out much better, I think, because I did this one and I built it. I put the plastic on after I built the wood frame, and then I brought the whole structure over here. But it was pretty heavy to carry by myself, and so I thought for the second one I would do it in a different way. And then the other problem I had was this one. I didn't get the hoop quite the right way, so this one doesn't match up perfectly. But that's fine. It still works, and it's firmly, securely attached. I won't have any holes or anything with it. I haven't put the doors up, so right now I've just got this cut plastic hanging there. But let's go inside and we'll look at the other end. Oh wow, it's much warmer in here. Well, not much warmer, it's a few degrees. It felt a little bit warm. And in here, so I've got a unique problem, and I'm actually glad that I decided to build this side here. But if you notice, you probably can't make it out from the camera, but it's leaning inwards, and that's because this hoop, if we look it up right there, I'll go to the outside and show you. The hoop gets closer. See, there you go. That's much more apparent. And so I had to build the end to accommodate that. That was just kind of my construction problem when I did it. But I had attached the plastic ends to that already, to this end already, before I really noticed how far in it was leaning. So anyways, I built this one, and I built it all here, except for what I did was I still used the PVC pipe at the ends here, except what I did was this time, so on the other side, what I did to make the round structure for the arch, what I did was I cut the plastic to match the arch, whereas for this side, what I did was I rolled the PVC pipe up in the plastic, and then I used this wood lathe. I screwed this wood lathe into the plastic to clamp the plastic to the PVC pipe, and then so I had this section of plastic that was just free at the bottom. And if you notice, because when I bent the hoop to the shape of the greenhouse, I then instead of having a perfectly fitting thing, I had to when I tightened it down to the frame that I built here, I had to put these pleats in it, and so these pleats are everywhere. There's a big one there, and there's some up there, so it just doesn't look as clean as the other side. Besides the fact that it's leaning, it is kind of uneven, but otherwise it's still securely attached. I can pull on it and it's not going to come off. I used just as many screws. The bottom turned out a little bit better, I think. The doors are less accurately measured, so this one is, I think, 18 or 19 inches wide, the first door. Let me back up. So the door on the right there is 18 or 9 inches, and this door is 30 inches wide. And basically I just laid these out based on the width of I laid the doors on this end out based on the width of the garden bed there. And then I've got, if you notice, this one is a little bit more narrow here. So that's how that turned out. But it'll work. I'll build the doors later. I think I'm going to build them out of smaller wood instead of these heavy instead of heavy 2x3s. I'm going to use some maybe 1x1s even. It doesn't need to be, the doors don't need to be that sturdy, and that way there's not much weight hanging on the hinges. When we come in here, and it's nice and warm. It is a few degrees warmer in here, much warmer than I would have expected it to be compared to outside. But I'll need to get a temperature gauge to measure it, and that's it. I would say this is mostly done. It didn't take really that long. Actually, I think the longest part was putting up the ends. I think it took me maybe 3 hours each end for some reason. It was really time consuming, but the rest of it, laying it out, putting the oh, and then the other time consuming part was cutting the rebar, because I had to use a die grinder, and my air compressor is not designed to run high air consuming things such as a die grinder, and so that took me a while. And then you just lay them out and you put them at a pretty even spacing, and then you're good. And I've got enough. The most expensive part here is the plastic. I think for this particular section I used about $100 in plastic, and that's the most expensive single item. The rebar and stuff, the rebar and the wood for the ends was I took 7 2x4s for each end, I think. So I guess 7 times 3 is 21, so another $40 in wood. Plus I've got some 2x4s down at the bottom far side that you saw that I used to attach the plastic to. And this side I went cheap and just buried it. And I think that's about it. So really easy to do. Anybody can do it.